So to continue on with our found footage kick, I've been trying to find 2024 releases so that we can include them in our 2024 views of the year and maybe eventually have some of these on some year-end lists because I love having a ton of titles. So I think this is my 169th 2024 horror watch of this year.
Crazy. I don't think I've even hit 100 yet.
I've watched a lot.
Which is wild, because we watch a lot of stuff together.
We do. So we threw this on. This is on Tubi, for those of you who want to check it out. And this is about two friends who are making this YouTube channel content together. And one of them gets this harebrained idea that they're going to order a box off the dark web and do an unboxing video and see what kind of views it brings to the channel. Of course, this goes horribly wrong, as one would expect, seeing as how it is a horror movie and all. So I posted about this in a found footage group. I actually I've talked about how that found footage group disappeared. Well, I have found the found footage group again. I think it's the exact same one. They changed the name. I saw something. It doesn't matter. So I'm back in it, and I posted about this one. And J.M. Stelly? Yeah. Commented on it, and he explained why he did the things that he did. So I appreciate the response, and I heard you, but I still didn't like this movie. So the problem here is this, and it's really a shame for me. And I'll tell you what he said for sure in response to this. But the big issue with this movie is that it does not remain found footage. And all of the non-found footage parts I thought were abysmal. So, and really, really hurt the film to the point where I ended up not liking the movie in the end. Because it's a shame, because when we were watching this, we were actually quite into the first, 45 minutes of the film when it was all found footage. And I thought that the chemistry between Daniel and James, our two main characters, were believable. You know, Daniel's kind of he's like a dipshit. He'll do anything for clicks. He doesn't care about anyone's safety. He doesn't care about anything but his clicks. But he felt believable. It wasn't, I'm not saying a dipshit like the actor's a dipshit. I'm talking about the character here.
Yeah.
But he's a very believable dipshit. And James is the grounded one. Mm-hmm. He's also the guy who made this movie, J.M. Stelly. But I've actually, when they got the box and there was all this, writing and stuff on it, it actually felt like a really cool mystery.
Yeah.
That I was very excited to, follow them through. And unfortunately, that kind of went nowhere. Mm. I was really excited about all the writing on the outside of the box and, the mystery. And they even had, these words on the side that were encoded.
Oh, yeah.
And I was I'm in this. I'm really excited. How they're going to figure this mystery out. How are they going to decode that? And what are these numbers? And what are these symbols? I thought we were really... Because there's a lot of them on these packages and stuff. And I was like, oh, that should be fun. Doesn't go anywhere. Yeah. That didn't go anywhere. And I was like, oh, well, that's a shame. So that was kind of a missed opportunity. But it's just... We were very into the found footage. But, man, last thing... The thing that pissed me off, the thing that really took me out of the film is that there are zero excuses, in my opinion, for flipping this over to a more conventional film style in the scenes in which we don't get the found footage stuff. 100% of these scenes could have easily, I don't even have to, there's no thought to be put into it of how could I make that found footage? They're as simple as it gets. These aren't complicated scenes to imagine in a found footage scenario. They work just as well as found footage as they would as regular filmmaking. I don't... He said in the comment that he made that he didn't want to feel like every other found footage film, but I have bad news. The only audience this appeals to is found footage fans, and most found footage fans are sticklers for it staying found footage.
Yeah, I'm definitely a found footage like purist. I find that I really don't like found footage hybrid movies.
Yeah.
I want it to be one or the other, and I love found footage. Like, I love the style of it. So for me, like, whenever I watch a movie that has conventional filmmaking, like, scenes thrown into it, I really don't like it. There was a movie that we watched that was, like, about Egypt. Where it started out
the pyramid.
The pyramid, yeah. This was one that, like, I was so annoyed because it starts out found footage, and then the last, like, 20 minutes of the film,
just completely abandoned.
it just is abandoned.
Just like,
and
I
just am like, what's the point of that? I don't get it. So that's definitely, I agree with you. I think that, yeah, the dialogue and the chemistry between them was really great. James, in particular, like, he had some really funny lines, and it was good. Like, I really liked all of that. And I also agree with you. I think that, like, the box itself, like, the cryptic information.
It felt like the Hunter Killers we played.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's what I was, like, kind of excited about, because if you've ever played a Hunter Killer, like, subscription box where you basically decode and solve a murder or solve whatever, it's very fun to do. And I think that the people that would be into, like, buying a dark web box or whatever would kind of want to go down, like, especially the people watching it, like, they'd want to go down the rabbit hole of solving the mystery. So yeah, I think that there's, like, good things about it, like the found footage stuff and the dialogue's there. Like,
it's
I
half a
liked
good
all of
movie.
that. Yeah, we didn't like the other stuff, and I mean, that's really kind of it. And because of, like, the ending being, in a conventional film style and everything, I just was pretty out of it by then, I think.
I'm not as big of a purist as you are on that stuff. Like, I'm okay with it to a degree. I prefer it to stay found footage the entire time, and I want it to be explained. Now, if they were to have some explanation, because I thought there was some wiggle room at first on how they were going to make this work and incorporate it into the story. And I was kind of giving them the benefit of the doubt of, like, this is going to be explained in the end to be part of something. And then, no. No, it's not at all. And confirmed by the director, obviously, as well. But it's very obviously, in the end, like, no, 100%, that's not what's happening here. So, yeah, but, like, as someone who watches a lot of these types of things, I have seen movies where we get found footage elements or found footage for half of it or whatever. Obviously, like, Sinister is a very good example of the footage he finds in the movie. That doesn't present itself as a found footage film.
Yeah, that's a different thing.
That is different.
Because it's like, yeah, you can find, like, characters can find footage within a film, and it's found footage where you're watching it being filmed or whatever, but the larger context of the movie is a conventional film style. That works. But I think it does not work when it's like you start off as a found footage film where we're following characters behind the camera, and then all of a sudden we get the, like, third person, like, disconnected. It's so jarring. It's very jarring.
Yeah.
And I think it just interrupts the flow of the story.
I'm trying to think of a movie that's pulled it off the top of my head where we've had a couple scenes. I mean, the Late Night with the Devil does steer away from it a bit. There are a couple things towards the end that are a bit unexplainable as to found footage, right? And there's a couple movies we've watched that we've liked that have seconds here and there that I'm like, where's that shot coming from? That shot's not anywhere in the movie. Nobody has a camera over there.
Those feel like shots are there just for the like the continuity, or not the continuity, but like the
flow.
Structure of the scene. It's like, oh crap, we didn't get this angle, and like we literally have to show this happening. Or
but why can't you just go in and like make it handheld in that moment? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but then if there's like a limitation of cameras, like they only have 2 camera angles or whatever, and they need this third.
But you do. I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
I think I still don't like that, but
this much where there's like 25. There's probably 20 minutes of non-found footage in this. 15 to 20 minutes. I don't think you could make that work. You could, I guess. Anything's possible. But I think it would be very complicated to make work.
Yeah.
And it just does not work here. Because if I really liked that footage. If I really liked how it fit into the film, I would just be like, you know what? I'm typically against this, but it worked here, so I'm fine with it. You know, I'm not somebody that's very beholden to this idea of like found footage, you know, purity. So it could work for me. Yeah, that's fine. It could work for me. And that's the point, though, that I'm trying to make is like, I am the audience that it could potentially work for, you know, in theory. I don't know if I've ever seen it. I'd have to really sit down and think about it because I've seen a lot of fucking movies. And see if there's anything I've ever seen that switches over and it works. If it exists, I don't know. But regardless, I hated how all of that stuff was filmed. I really hated all of it. I was like, I don't like how this is shot at all. And as I had said, if it was something that felt like, yeah, I don't know how you could have done this found footage. The idea got beyond their capabilities of keeping it found footage. And they were like, I don't know, I don't have an excuse I could come up with good enough of why they'd keep filming. I wrote myself into a bit of a corner here. We already kind of filmed so much of it that I just didn't know what to do. So I just, you know, I had my back against the wall and I decided to do this because it just made more sense to me. No, none of that is applicable here to me. 100% of the scenes that are not found footage in this are easily found footageable. So that's what annoys me about it. Like, I get his, and it's fine. If JM thinks that this is the best way to do it, who the fuck am I to tell him? I'm just giving our opinions on the matter, and our opinions as found footage freaks is that this is just was a bad decision. I think that you had half a good movie here. I think if you would have kept it found footage, and you would have delivered on the decrypting of the mystery, we'd have a really cool film here. Mm-hmm. So you have half a good movie, a good setup, and then it just, for us, falls apart and becomes like, it completely ruins the film to where now I have no interest in it at all. And also the sound mix, the music is so high, I can barely hear what someone's saying. And having music in a found footage film is also a big no-no. Anyway, that's that.
But, as always, congratulations on making a film. It's always like, you know, we just give our opinion on things, and ultimately, like, for any director, you know, that's out there making low-budget films, like, it's great that you're able to do something with it, you know? And, for our viewers, like, if you're not a found footage purist, if you don't mind, like, hybrid stuff, you could check it out. We weren't fans of it in the end, but if you like, supporting like low budget, you know. So
that found footage group is typically filled with like hardcore enthusiasts of found footage that are like purists to the purest degree, right? They're like freaking found footage power. They're like marching through the streets. And I had a couple comments in that thread. That where people were like, I liked it. Yeah. Like, so it absolutely can have its audience for sure. So if you're like a big found footage enthusiast and you are not, as she said, she already fucking said it. Why am I repeating it?
Yeah.
But I was very, I liked how the director commented back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he wasn't a dick about it. But he could be, too. That's his right. But he was very respectful and cool, and I appreciate the comment. I'm sure I'm going to get another one. Or we're going to get another one. So, all right. They are watching.
They are watching.
Yeah.
Are you watching?
That's up to you. Let us know.
Bye. Bye.